April 21st, 2026, 6:29 p.m. is going to be known as the death of manga collection, as Logan Paul posed, proud owner of the greatest mangas in the world. One Piece Chapter 1, graded 9.0. First canon appearance of Monkey D. Luffy, One Piece is the #1 selling manga in the world, at 600 plus million copies sold. Dragon Ball Chapter 1, 9.2, purchased for a record 550k. First appearance of Goku and Bulma. I don't know how to say Bulma, I'm just assuming that's how you say it. The manga journey has begun. Can we just take time to appreciate the ratio of the century with Speed saying you don't even know shit about One Piece with 400k likes compared to the original post's 20k? If you've been living under a rock and have no clue why people don't seem to like this at all, earlier in 2021 I believe, Logan Paul purchased a Charizard and a Pikachu, both for millions of dollars, aiding in the whole Pokemon craze where now you can't find Pokemon cards unless they're 2 to 3 times retail, essentially ruining the hobby for kids because kids most likely aren't going to secondhand marketplaces, kids don't have the money to buy it, and if kids do get their hands on Pokemon cards, they're probably going to try to check it out, see what grade it is, see how rare it is, see how much they could resell it for, and everything. Maybe even do a trade up challenge. And look at that. The price for rare collectible manga has suddenly skyrocketed. Logan Paul must be the greediest motherfucker in the world, where he's trading out the joy of millions of people for his own personal profit, treating hobbies as stocks. Because he knows that a bunch of his dumbass fans are gonna go and buy manga doing the same thing as him, treating it as stocks, trying to get in early on this and try to profit hella. And they probably will, they probably will because people will buy this shit without even knowing anything about the hobby. They will buy this shit. And I'm not even trying to gatekeep because it's completely fine to get into a hobby, but there's no reason, unless you're treating it like a stock, that you would announce this. There's absolutely none. You would just buy it and just go on and read on your own. And this does really suck for people who like collecting manga. I know people who might go like, oh, you can just read it online. But there is something special for people who like collecting manga. I don't like doing it, but I know people who do. And they really like collecting manga just to have it physically, like in their room as either part of a decoration or just a sentimental value. Also, can we talk about how stupid it is to grade a manga and put it in a case where you can never open it unless you tamper with the seal and then the grade's not even valid anymore and you have to go get it regraded? Can we just talk about how stupid that is? Like, at least for Pokemon cards, it's a card and there's like nothing in between it and all you can see is the front and the back. But for manga, there's like pages in between that are essential to like the value of the manga. Like, oh my god, grading companies and grading just tilts the fuck. I hate grading. And how I know Logan Paul is in this not for the hobby, but just as a stock, is if you just watch the video with him and the guy who he bought it with, this fucking chud ass Jeremy Padawer. This guy is such a chud, by the way. Notice throughout the video that I'll play how much he looks at Logan Paul for like reformation and is like, oh Logan, I'm doing good, right, Logan? Because no one fucking likes this bitch. Oh my god, I fucking.
All right. You go.
You go. Okay, I'll go. And Logan and I were talking about new opportunities, new areas to go into, and manga just made so much sense. If you think about it, it's much like a comic book, right? So
I mean, it is.
It is a comic book.
It's a Japanese storybook.
That's
it's a
right.
Japanese comic book, yeah.
And if you look at the most valuable comic books in the world, the Superman, the Action Comics one, Batman, or the Detective Comics 27, like these are books in the highest condition that'll sell for $10 to $15 million each.
Yep.
And so thinking about that and looking what's been going on with One Piece and Dragon Ball and Naruto and all these other anime, and actually you were talking about, like, what were you saying about the number of units that One Piece has sold?
So in 30 years, One Piece has sold 600 million copies. It took Superman 90 years to do the same. So in a third of the time, One Piece has sold just the same amount of units as Superman, one of the greatest IP ever.
Like, just notice how they talk about it. They're not talking about it like they enjoy the manga. They're talking about it as if it's some business adventure, which it is for them. They're like, oh, it sold blank amount of copies in blank amount of time, instead of saying, oh, I really enjoyed reading One Piece. Like, it's so cringe.
Yeah. So to us, it was an indicator of just like this insane opportunity, because this IP is amongst the most popular and coolest in the world. Anime is amazing on all fronts, and you have Dragon Ball, you have Demon Slayer, you have Berserk, or Naruto, like you said, One Piece now with the Netflix live action.
Yeah.
The show was so great that he forgot how to say the main character's name.
I did watch the live action show on Netflix.
It was great.
Luffy D Monkey. Shout out Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
What?
Monkey D. Luffy.
It's Monkey D.
And I think in very Logan fashion, just like he asked me when we were looking at Pokemon, and he asked me what's the grail of Pokemon, and we talked about it, and I said, I think it's the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator.
Yeah.
I will say in time, we have found out that there's other grails.
There's other grails.
There's other grails in the Pokemon universe.
Yes.
But in terms of this, it was very much the same thought. You start at the top. You want to start at the highest level and try to figure out where that's at. Once you know where the highest level is, you can kind of backfill and understand where you want to participate, where it makes sense for you. Now, of course, in perfect Logan fashion, he's like, dude, let's buy the best stuff in the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay. I was like, together? He was like, yeah, let's do it.
So, in typical fashion, you don't actually start at the Holy Grail. You start at Chapter 1, which it so happens to be Chapter 1 that they bought. But no, typically you start at Chapter 1, and then you go to Chapter 2, and then Chapter 3, and then whatnot.
And we are proud to say that Jeremy and I have went 50-50 on these two amazing pieces of manga. You have a Weekly Shonen Jump Dragon Ball 9-2 here with, look closely, exceptional white pages, which I believe is one of the only Beckett exceptional white.
Yeah, of any comic, manga.
Yeah, like look at the color of the pages and look at the quality of this book from 1984.
Is it just me, or are the pages not that white? Also, who cares about the quality of the pages if you're putting it in a case where you're never going to be able to look at the pages? Like, what?
Also, the first appearance of Son Goku and Bulma, like Dragon Ball, before it even became Dragon Ball Z.
Also, I just now realized, why is he emphasizing the first appearance of Goku and the first appearance of Monkey D. Luffy? It's Chapter 1. Like, okay, am I getting something wrong here? Like, would Chapter 1 not be the first appearance of the main fucking character of the whole series? Like, wait, like, why is he emphasizing it so much? It's Chapter 1. Like, no shit.
I'll say this. Japanese culture is remarkable, okay? Some of the kindest, most remarkable people I've ever met, okay? And they keep things in wonderful condition, except for manga.
Yeah.
Except for manga.
Because they share it.
Because they share it. They're so courteous that they'll go on a train, right? They'll read the One Piece. They'll leave it for the next person. And that is one of the reasons why there's such a high rate of, love for these intellectual property.
Yep.
Yeah, manga is supposed to be read. They're acting like it's a shocker. Oh my god, wait. Why can't we find any good things? It's almost like people open them up and read them.
You gotta picture this like, it's an asset, right?
And, for me, I mean, not for all collectors. Some collectors, it begins and ends with passion.
Yep.
But for others, there is the concept of transaction. For me, there always is.
Yep.
So, like I said, when everything burned down, I had a real desire to jump back into a category that I thought had a big potential upside. Because, 52, you don't have the number of years that you have when you're 31. You got a whole nother 20.
Yeah.
But look, the bottom line is for me, I wanted to find something, and when Logan and I talked about it, there was just such an immediate embrace.
I understood. I just immediately understood. People, I hear about the new categories all the time. Some hit, some don't.
Yeah, like Logan Paul's crypto scams. Anyways, when you look into this Jeremy guy, it is kind of unfortunate what happened to him. His whole house burned down. He lost millions of dollars worth of assets. It's really preying on desperate people. And I feel like Logan Paul has been doing this where he preys on desperate people who really need the money. And I think collectible is just that. It's just not morally right for me, and I would imagine for most of you guys watching, to sacrifice the joy of others for your own personal gain. Like, that's just a little fucked up. But it's nothing new for Logan Paul. See ya.